All right, guys, Trevor Thompson, TNT Pressure Cleaning. Dynamite service with explosive results. This is all you need. You need a 1 gallon pump up sprayer for your sodium hypochlorite and your surfactant, and that's a straight hot mix. You need a 2 gallon pump up sprayer so that you can mix some acid of your choice. Oxalic or bark from Front 9 Restorations is what I highly recommend. Front 9 Restoration product, bark. I'm using oxalic acid. I buy it from Florida Laboratories, and it's excellent for doing rust iron and sulfur, hard water stains alongside of homes. This is a 4,200 PSI, 4 gallon a minute cold water belt driven machine. It's pressured with a AR 13 horsepower nickel plated pump. And this is 4,200 PSI belt driven machine. I have a 55 gallon SH tank with 100 feet of 3/8 hose. This is strapped to a nut rated for 900 pound aluminum hand truck by Uline. And I'm able to siphon my solutions out of there and reach areas. You can reach the whole front of the house, the whole side of the house, move it to the other, move it this way and that way. So you really only have to move it a couple of times. Today I had to move it more than a couple of times because of the length of the fence. Here I have 100 feet of Flexzilla hose, and that's my supply hose, and then I have 300 feet of high pressure hose, 200 feet of double braided, 100 feet of single braided, and in there I have a high pressure ball valve and a bunch of things that you're going to need. I use wash tips, I use all different types of tips off of my reducer. I have a 1 foot lance so I can reach. So today on the house wash mix, we're using sodium hypochlorite, a really good house wash surfactant. I used a little bit of degreaser and a little bit of aluminum brightener. And the trick is to knowing how little to mix per your mix. If you overdo it, you're going to run into all kinds of problems. Don't try this on your own if you are not professional. You will really mess things up. You really have to know your dilution rates properly. And on YouTube, guys, I can't answer your questions for you in regards to, well, how much do I put in? Because I need to know a bunch of things. I'm gonna need to know what your flow rate is, what your machine is, what you're batch mixing out of, what you're using it to apply. There's many factors that play a role in suction flow. Sorry, I just had a bee land on my hand. So on and so forth. So what you guys are gonna see, we're gonna go on to our clean because we're all finished. What you're gonna see is some inorganic staining along the fascia. Those are gonna be black sort of tiger stripes, if you will. And those do not come off unless you use a product like LA Awesome or Gutter Butter. Do not use LA Awesome if you do not know how to dilute your solution properly. You will strip the paint right down to the aluminum. So you have to know how to dilute it, how to keep it wet, how to get it off, how to agitate it. This line of work is not something that you can just figure out by a couple of videos and go out there. You will really mess people's property up. So please take classes, get professionally educated, practice on your friends and family before you get out here and try to make money doing this. I've seen too many people fail, too many people write in and say, well, I tried this and it stripped it all the way down to the aluminum. There's mixology involved here. You gotta know what you're doing, guys. All right, I'm gonna turn you around and let you see what those peaks look like. So here's what the fascia and flashing and soffits look like. Sorry about that, guys. You can just see what those soffits look like under there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And garage doors, be really careful. If they're oxidized, you will make marks all over them, and you can see there's absolutely no marks on there. If you look up here, I'm going to show you what we're talking about. So this is what we're talking about, which is your tiger stripes. You see the blackened through there? That is inorganic. That is not coming off with a conventional house wash mix. You have to get up there with an aluminum brightener and do that properly. All right. So everything came out absolutely beautiful. As you can see, the door is spot free. There's not a spot on there. Make note that is nickel plated hardware. That will flash, oxidize, and turn black if you don't know what you're doing. You can just see how beautiful that gutter line came out. You can see how beautiful those soffits are. Those were black under there. This was absolutely black and looking really bad. So you can see how crystal clear those windows are. Not a mark, not a smudge. We did some oxalic acid removal. I'm sorry, we did some rust iron and sulfur removal using oxalic acid right there. So that was all orange, and it no longer is. This fence, if you remember, you can refer to the prior video, which is a before video of this particular location. This was all orange through there, all orange through there. So this fella owns a tree company, and they just cleared a bunch of land next to his new property, and you can see what that looks like. So you can see how they've cleared all this land, and he really wanted this fence cleaned up. So we did the fence from the inside and the outside. So you can see what that fence looks like all the way down. And I still have quite a bit more property to go, but you can just see how beautiful it is. You know what I mean? I just walk up to any random spot and show you because my work is so thorough and so detailed. It just looks like a brand new fence. So we're going to continue. You can see what the flashing and the fascia looks like over there. And once again, in these hot summer months, if you guys are out here doing this and you haven't been doing this very long and you're kind of confused, keep it wet. Keep it wet. So the X-Jet is so good for that because you can just pull off your siphon hose and get the building wet. Keep a J-rod in your back pocket with wash tips so that you don't kill the people's windows, or even the X-Jet on paint that's failing, you can dig some holes. So the fan opens up really nicely, especially when you're applying a solution, but when it's not suctioning and the siphon end of the brass barb is not in play, it doesn't put out like a high pressure tip. It's not going to rip your skin open, but there is some pressure behind it. So, you have to be very, very careful. So you can just see how beautiful this looks all the way down. These soffits, guys, were black. And I'll just let you see what they look like. I'll just tip you under there and let you see how beautiful that is. We did this fence coming up here, and make note, once again, this fence prior to my arrival, and it's in the before video, has a ton of chalky oxidation. So you can use gutter butter or LA Awesome, diluted, agitate it, and get that chalk right off of there. So that is probably an added service that we're gonna do in the near future. Here is the balance of the fence. There's just not a mark on it, guys. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't mess around. So this area here was just black and green. This was all green and through here. What I do is I get these fences wet first. And I knock off the debris. Once I get the debris knocked off and the fence is wet, I lay my soap, and I do it in sections so that I can revisit without it drying and looking horrible. So as you can see, just the fence is absolutely gorgeous. So the fence wraps the entire property all the way around. And we did all of the gutters and soffits. We did this AC slab just to make it look brand new. You can see how beautiful the windows are, nice and dry. These screens had a bunch of algae on them, especially in this location in here. So we went ahead and did the screens. We dusted out this, but they do keep dogs out here, so I didn't want to put too much chemical in there. So I did wet everything down, push all the dog hairs out, and then with the solution that came through the screens, I used that to kind of dust through and get that nice and clean as well. But you can just see how beautiful the fence is all the way around. You can see that there's absolutely no more algae whatsoever here. I'm keeping my head down because there are dog poops everywhere, and I don't want to step in dog poops before I pack up the trailer and go home. But this is the balance of the fence. So the fence wraps all the way around. And we did a lot of oxalic acid. We did a lot of rust iron and sulfur removal. And we just made things look spectacular. I'll let you kind of take a look at that. I hope you can see that. The sun is right in my eye, but that's going to be the balance of the clean. Everybody have a great day. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you have questions and concerns, feel free to reach out. I'll try to answer your questions as soon as I possibly can, and to the best of my knowledge. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Gutters, fascia, flashing, soffits, and fence. Good day's work.